I created Digital Story Lab to give voice, to have a space where people could share their stories, could talk about things that they had experienced, um, things that they had overcome, and to really provide a space for stories that are not told, stories that are often silenced, stories that are often invisible and hidden in the dominant media or by the dominant community, and to present those stories for everyone, for learning, for transformation, to raise social consciousness and awareness, and to hopefully be a blessing so that others can learn from the stories that they hear, from the stories that they see, and learn something and take it with them. Initially, Digital Story Lab will focus on stories told by women, stories told by African American women primarily, because those are the stories that we often don't hear about. You know, if you watch TLC or another mass media channel, you may hear about all these stories representing all these other women, but you often don't hear the stories told by African American women. And these are stories that um, even culturally we don't talk about, and things that we should share, from dealing with depression, dealing with abuse, sexual abuse, um, physical abuse, emotional abuse in the home, outside of the home. Stories such as living with HIV/AIDS. On the other end of the spectrum, Digital Story Lab will also capture stories and tell stories about women who represent industries or um, professions where we don't normally think African American women have a space in these fields. For example, in engineering, in science, in math, and all of these other spaces where, again, if you look at mass media, we aren't really represented. If you look at research, we aren't really represented. So Digital Story Lab wants to provide that space where you have women represented, and initially focusing on African American women. However, ultimately, these stories will extend beyond just these two spaces and include many stories. And it's the stories, again, that just need to be out there and shared for the community. So people often ask me, who am I targeting for Digital Story Lab? And the truth is, everyone can learn from these stories. It's not targeting one particular demographic. There's not a particular age. There's not even just women. I think that anyone can watch a story and learn from it. And if you look at many cultures, wisdom was just shared by telling stories. And that's ultimately what we hope to do at Digital Story Lab, to inspire people to, be a catalyst for change and growth and learning. If you're interested in supporting Digital Story Lab, there are many ways. We need people to be the brave pioneers to share their stories, because some of the topics are very taboo for many cultures. It's hard trying to find that initial person to be the one person to say, I'm willing to out myself and to share my story to be a blessing to someone else. And if that's a space where you in, or you're trying to figure out an experience that you went through and what it means to you and how you can help someone else avoid going through a similar experience, then we would certainly love to have you share your story with Digital Story Lab and to use us as a way to get your story out there to others. Or you might be thinking you're not ready to share your story, but you do want to support the cause. Then, of course, we always need support in, resources, gifts in kind, and, of course, financial support as well. So hopefully we can partner with you as individuals and partner with agencies. We work with education agencies, nonprofit, for-profit, government, many different agencies to help capture stories and get the message out there. For more information on how to connect with Digital Story Lab, go to our website at www.dstory.org. www.digitalstorylab.org and click on the support tab. And you can also email us at info@digitalstorylab.org.